Hi, and welcome to Qigong Live Online. This is the beginners program today, and I just talked about yesterday, just before in the advanced class, to talk about loss of appetite. But I had a couple of questions, and one from Leslie, and also from Harold. Welcome, Harold. Welcome, Leslie, to the class about neuropathy. Yeah. So the big one is, of course, is what's causing. There's lots of different causes of neuropathy in the body, and diabetes is one of them. Well, not actually some of them diabetes, but there's lots of different things that can create it. So I'll do a class next week because it's a big subject. I'll do some exercises for different stages. And Leslie, if you can get back to me and tell me, even if you email me or message me at Forest Rock, go onto the site and message Forest Rock and get the message to me a little bit more about the details. And I'll give you exercises for the particular what's creating the neuropathy. It also depends where it is in the body as well, because there's all meridians go through different parts, so it depends what created it. And I'll give you exercise, a little bit more detailed exercises for that particular version you've got, and the same with Harold. And I'll help you with that. And we'll do a class next week. I'll write it down. We'll do it on probably be the advanced class. I don't know if we'll put it on the beginners class. It might be a bit heavy for the beginners class, but we'll put it on the advanced one, and I'll give you a couple of exercises. Just let me know a little bit more detail, because as I say, there's lots of causes for this. So depending on what the cause is, how we're going to treat it, and depending on location. There you go. Anyway, so welcome to the class, and I like questions like this. So if these classes are going to be useful to help people give you exercise to do this, they're very welcome to ask. Yeah. It's my pleasure. But I also put a disclaimer. Remember, I'm not doing this is not a diagnostic thing. I'm going to give you exercises that are good for that particular condition, but without doing a full diagnosis. I don't know where the source of the problem is coming from. You can tell me, but I actually need to see you. So it's difficult. So I'm going to give you ideas of what exercise you can do, but I would suggest go to a TCM practitioner or an acupuncturist or a medical person to come and see and have a diagnosis done, to know exactly where it is and what's creating it. And then if you give me that details, then it's a very, very different thing I can help you with. Yeah, but I'll give you a general one for it anyway. How's that? I just want to put that disclaimer in because I'm not sure what the whole picture is. I need to know the whole history. So anyway, you don't have to give me a whole history, but just understand that's how it works in TCM. You go right back to all the history and you get to the diagnosis. So we know what the cause of the problem is. And if you get rid of the cause, then it goes away. But if I don't know this one, I'm just putting bandages over the top of that one. These are the symptoms, and I'm not sure what's generating it. So that's what I love about Chinese medicine. It always goes back to the root cause. Fix the root cause, the thing goes away. It's like insomnia. Insomnia is a symptom. It's not the problem. Something's creating this insomnia, and the idea of TCM is go back and treat the insomnia. Yeah. Anyway, we'll just bow into class. Roll back onto your thumbs. Left hand underneath, right hand on top. Two thumbs together. Gong. Create a fist with your left, bring it towards your heart and down. Now, I just noticed how fast I was talking just then. I apologize for that. I might get me to slow the language down a little bit when he edits it. I get all excited about when you talk about TCM. So I apologize in one way and I won't apologize in another. I don't apologize for getting excited. Anyway, so we're going to do exercises for loss of appetite. Now, you can have two parts to this. Of course, there's yin and yang, isn't it? There's loss of appetite and having too much appetite. And the appetite you can have be really, really hungry all the time. And so you can have this surging needing to eat food all the time. There can be, and of course, both of these things are the symptoms. They're not the problem. If you have an excessive appetite, something's creating that, not necessarily your need just to eat food. It could be something inside your body that's creating this need for energy from the food. And the lack of appetite can be a few things that causes that. But the person asked me about the lack of appetite, so I'm going to do that one. And I'm going to give you some, as I say, generic exercises. And if you understand who controls the appetite, it's to do with your spleen and stomach, which is obvious. And the spleen has a big involvement with this. And so I'm going to do a couple of exercises for your spleen and your stomach to engage in this. Now, remember when you have a good appetite, if the whole body is functioning well, you don't necessarily put weight on. You actually put weight on when you don't have everything functioning properly. And I'll start an exercise for us, and I'll talk a little bit more about that as we do the exercise. I don't want to talk about the whole way through this, but we're doing an exercise that's really, 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 really profound for balancing the stomach and the spleen. And it's called rowing the boat in the middle of the lake. And it's called, no, it's not. give you the right, shall I give you the right exercise? It's called Scoop the Earth. I've got to give you the right exercise. No, it is. It's, no, oh gosh, it's in my mind today. I need some spleen exercise for my mind. It is called rowing the boat in the middle of the lake. I just quickly flashed through all of the applications of these exercises. Oh, hang on, what was that one? So it's a simple exercise. You start with the hands facing. Now we've worked out which one it is. We're going to bend down. We're going to lower ourselves down. Can you just swap the screen for us, Manny? And then turn your palms to the front. Now we've gone down, we've turned our palms to the front, and you do big circles at the back. And you feel the stretch in your shoulders backwards. So go over the top and then come down the front. Now I gave a person this exercise who had stomach digestive problems, and this one exercise resolved them. And she'd had it for months and months, and just one exercise. So these are very, very potent exercises. You breathe out as you go down, and you breathe in as you come up. You breathe out as you go down. Bending your back. You bend your knees on the way down. Make sure when you get down, you keep it straight back. So when you bend down, don't stick your bottom out. Just go straight down. Yeah? Straight down. Keep your back straight. Yeah, and then roll up. Let's come down away from the plant. Comes down. Good. So appetite. So the spleen to do with appetite, we'll talk about that a little bit. So you can, if your spleen is dysfunctioning, you can put weight on eating lettuce leaves. Because what the spleen does, if the spleen's not got any energy, if the spleen's tired, the spleen qi is depleted, it doesn't have the power to digest food. So what it does is start storing the food. So no matter what you eat, it's just going to store the carbohydrates. And there's carbohydrates in green food, in green leafy food. It'll just store the carbohydrates. So you put weight on eating lettuce. It's because the spleen's not functioning. Now the spleen's got a lot to do with your mental capacity, your thought process, your thinking, your memory. That's why the spleen's number one symptom if you have spleen qi deficiency is you'll have short-term memory loss. You'll forget where you put your keys. You'll notice you're walking around, can't remember things. And it's be a spleen qi thing. But when your spleen's really strong, then your memory's really strong as well. But it also has to do with the appetite. So if it, as I say, if it hasn't got any, it doesn't want to digest food, it's just on strike. So then you'll store food. And then other than that, it will actually take your appetite off you. It won't make you hungry because it doesn't want to do any work. So it'll take away your appetite so you don't feel like eating. So it doesn't have to do any work. It goes on strike. Yeah. So when your spleen's nice and strong, breathing out on the way down, breathing in on the way up. When your spleen's nice and strong, then you have a healthy appetite. Now the same thing happens if you've got a ravenous appetite where you feel like you want to eat all the time. It'll also regulate that as well, because that's it out of control as well. With the whole digestive craving for food can be, because you can be so low in energy, the body's craving nutrients because it's getting really, really run down. So it gets really, really hungry. And then if you have low spleen, then it doesn't want to eat, but you're really, really hungry. Or you're really, really hungry and eat like crazy. Both of them are the spleen qi out of regulation. So this exercise regulates the spleen for you in the stomach. And we're going to do a couple more as well, just to help you with that. Breathing in. Now, when you get hungry, don't worry about these exercises. If you have a fuller build, don't worry about getting any exercise, because when you have the spleen strong, you don't put weight on. You use the body uses the food for nutrients, for nourishment, but it doesn't actually store food. So you're not going to put weight on, even though you feel hungry, because it's going to start digesting food correctly, and then the weight problem won't happen. It's only when the spleen and stomach are out of condition, then you start storing weight. Unless, of course, you eat excessively, and then, of course, the body just can't deal with all the extra food, and it just stores it. Because it doesn't need it all, because you're not doing enough exercise, and the body will just store the carbohydrates. Because it sees it's like nuts and storing nuts. It's like squirrels storing nuts for Christmas or for the winter. The body just stores it by itself. If it gets food that it gives the carbohydrates, it'll store it and it'll break the carbohydrates into fat, and it'll store it for later because it doesn't want to let it go because it's a source of nourishment. Unless you don't do carbohydrates and you do ketos and you live off the fat, and then that problem won't happen. You get your energy from the fat instead of getting your fat from carbohydrates. we as humans, we have a lot of carbohydrates because there's so much sugar used in food nowadays. Because it's a great seller because people like the taste of sweet. Oh, there you go. And the taste of sweetness is the taste of the spleen. That's why when you're spleen deficient, you'll crave sugar. You'll crave chocolate and things because the sugar feeds the spleen. But the problem is you have another problem with too much sugar is, of course, that then it creates more fat. It's a bit of a trick on this. But if your spleen and stomach are strong, then all that doesn't happen. That's that simple, eh? Breathing up, do one more. Bring your hands down the front. Now I finished that exercise and now I'm hungry. Actually, no, it's not true. I just had breakfast before. I'm not hungry at all. I was just joking. So we're going to do Zang Fu Qigong for the spleen and the stomach. We're going to do the stomach first. The stomach's in the center. Now, the stomach's quite high. The heart's just really close. The stomach and the heart are really close to each other. The heart's right behind the sternum, behind your breastbone, and the stomach's just underneath it. Your stomach's not down here. It's actually quite up high up here. So you're going to put your hands on your stomach. Now, for men, you need to put your left hand on your stomach with your right over the top. For women, you need to put your right hand on your tummy with your left over the top. Now, the circles we're going to do, we're going to go, and I won't talk clockwise and anti-clockwise. I'm going to do direction. So we're going to go from the top to the right, to the bottom, to the left. Top, circling top, right, bottom, left. And this is anti-clockwise. Yep. Because you're the clock. But it's so much easier if I give you the direction than try and work out the clock thing. So it goes top, right, bottom, left. Now we're going to do this 9 times around the stomach. And we're thinking of the stomach. We're thinking of taking away any perverse qi in the stomach, any blockages in the stomach, and our intentions inside our body, thinking of these things. And we do 9 times circles. Now when you see me turning, I'm not just using my hands like this and the whole body's completely still. You see my whole body's moving. So when I'm moving my arms, my body's moving my arms, not just my arms moving by themselves. So you have this sort of almost like this rocking motion. And then you get to 9, and then you're going to go the opposite way, which is top, left, bottom, right. And this is clockwise. You always leave it, the energy of the organ travels clockwise. So we're going the reverse way to start off with, then we're leaving it the right way, which is clockwise. Yeah, and as I say, there's a gentle rocking of the body because you're not moving the arms. Like if I do it like this, it feels really weird. Because all I'm doing is moving my elbows. But if I do this, the whole body's doing the exercise. Yep. 7, 8, and then 9. And then we're going to do a thing called point respiration. So you're going to push your hands in and breathe out. So you think of breathing out any perverse qi or any blockages. You breathe it out as you push in. Go. Breathe out through the mouth. Relax the hand and breathe in all the good qi. Push and breathe it out. Breathe in the good qi. Push and breathe out. Breathe in. Good, we're going to do it again. So go top, right, bottom, left, yeah? 9 times. Very good. Any perverse qi, any blockages. Help all the energy in the stomach be strong. This is the stomach organ. Of course, there's 2 stomach meridians as well, because this will help rectify the stomach meridians as well. But at this stage, you don't necessarily need to know where they are, but they travel down the front of your body, right up to your eye. But that'll do for the moment. But just know that we're doing the organ itself. And the qi travels from the stomach meridians to the organ. Yep. Good. Done the anti-clockwise. And then we're going to go clockwise. Top, left, bottom, right. 9 times coming back the other way. No. And then point respiration again. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. One more time. Breathe out. Push out all the perverse qi. Breathe in all the good qi. Cool. Now we're going to do it one extra time. We usually do it in sets of 3, so we're going to do it in sets of 3. And the reason for the 3 sets is physical, mental, spiritual. Usually, the general, there's a few other reasons why 3, but we're going to do it for that particular reason. One's for spiritually, one's for physically, one's for mentally. And we're going top, right, bottom, left. Yep. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then we're going to go the opposite direction. Top left, bottom right. 9 times. Now, if you're in a gold country and you've got a woolen jersey on, don't do this, rubbing the jersey, because you end up with these big circles on your jersey, yeah? But I've got cotton on, so it's going to have a slightly different approach, so it doesn't matter too much with my cotton. But we'll draw with that. I did this in a jersey. I'm only saying that because I remember being in New Zealand, I did this exercise. I did all of them. There's 6 of them in the Zang Fu set. And I had all these round marks on my jersey everywhere I did the exercise. So I'm only saying that's from my own experience. So you can have your hands out from the body. It doesn't have to be touching the body here. Cool. And then 9. And then point respiration again. Breathe in. Push and breathe out. This is such a simple exercise. It's such an effective exercise. The Taiji exercises date way back. The Taiji is a very, very old Qigong system that has lots of medical applications and lots of medical Qigong exercises in the system. And one more. Breathe in. Cool. Now we're going to move to the spleen. Now the spleen's in the back on the left-hand side. Oh, underneath your ribs. Make me tired. Make me tired and hungry. How's that? So we're going to do the same thing. We have your hands on the spleen. Remember your left hand for men, right hand over the top. Woman, right hand with left over the top. And we're going to go the same way. So we're going to go top, right, bottom, left. Top, right, bottom, left circle. We're going to do 9 times. It's a little organ, but it has a great function. It helps with the digestive function. But the 2 spleen meridians are big energy meridians. The organ's really small, but the meridians are really big. Travels down the side of your body, both sides, down your flank, down to your big toe. And 9, and back the other way, which is top, left, bottom, right. And have this lovely little movement of the body just moving. And then a point respiration, same thing again, push in, breathe out. Now we're thinking in the spleen, we're bringing out all of perverse qi, any blocked qi. Take away any toxicity. Breathe in, good. Help the blood circulation to the spleen, the organ itself. Help the qi circulation, breathe out. Breathe in all the good qi. Push and breathe out. Breathe in. Good, we're going to do this 3 times as well. So back to top, right, bottom, left. And back the other way. And when you breathe, just breathe normally. Just breathe nice and slowly, nice and quietly. There's not a breath per circle. You could do a breath per circle if you want to, but it's not generally taught that way. Point respiration, push out. Breathe out through the mouth. Breathe in through the nose. Push and breathe out. Good. And one last time. They always say that for things to be very efficient, they don't always have to be really complicated. There's some really simple techniques that are so effective, and they're not super complicated. And so sometimes we think we have to do lots of things, and there's lots of aspects to it, and they've got to do this, that, and the other to get a result. Sometimes it could just be one thing. And this is one of those things where it's a really simple exercise, but the effect is quite profound because of your intention. Your intention of what you're doing to your stomach, intention of what you're doing to your spleen, and whether you use your lungs or your liver or your kidneys, it doesn't matter. Whichever one you're doing, it is quite profound, yeah? And how it regulates and energizes and tonifies the organ itself and the meridians, and how it brings blood to the organ, brings qi to the organ, helps the function of the organ. Yeah, they're quite profound, yeah. 7, 8, and 9. There we go. It's point respiration. Breathe in. Good, there you go. Just shake your arms out. So there you go. So there's 2 weeks. Now you could just do this once, by the way. You don't have to do it 3 times. I've done it 3 times for a practice, but you can just do it once. I quite often after I've eaten meals, which is a part of the post eating, part of good eating habits, besides brushing your teeth, is to go for a walk, is also to do stomach massage. Now you know which way the stomach's going to go because it goes clockwise, yeah? So it goes down through the valve from your esophagus into your stomach, yeah? And then it goes across, and then down through your duodenum, so it goes this way. So you're going the right way, which is that way. And that's the way it circulates, yeah, and it goes down. So these exercises, and quite often I'll do that, and I'll do both, and I do both ways on my stomach, just to massage my stomach to help the digestive process. And it's quite a common thing in Qigong to do this after you've eaten. You'll see sometimes you're sitting at a restaurant with the Chinese people, you'll see them sitting there rubbing their tummy. Yeah, it's a very, very common thing to do. We're just not brought up with that culture where you do things like that, but you can understand why it'd be really useful. And it stops indigestion and stops everything else happening as well. Cool, there you go. So enjoy those. If you have any questions about them, please ask, and we'll do neuropathy next week. I'll do it in the advanced class. And Gordon, can you, before you leave or before I turn this off, can you just write down what it is, or send me a message? And same with Leslie, can you send me a message or message me privately? Just go through, you can either send me an email or you can send me a message. Send me an email through info@Forest Rock, and that will get to me through, go through the chain and it'll get back to me. info@forestrock.com, and that'll get to me and tell me what it is. And so I'll get a couple of exercises for you, or particular ones just for you. Christmas present, how's that? Interesting Christmas present anyway. Have a beautiful week, everybody. Christmas time, we have our tree up today, so it's really nice. I like the energy. We have color, we have lights. We put lights up. I just like the festivity of it. Whatever you believe around Christmas is, it doesn't matter. I just like the whole festivity. It's a nice time. It's a time for families, even though sometimes that can be a bit rough, but it's a time of friendship. It's a time of giving and giving things away, and I think it's a really lovely thing. It's more about giving than receiving, but it's about doing both, because it's just as honourable to receive as it is to give. Yep, there you go. Something like that anyway. Have a beautiful week, eh? We'll see you next week. Roll back on your thumbs. Left hand underneath, 2 thumbs together. Go. Make a fist with your left hand, cover with your right. Bring it towards your heart and bring your hands down. Perfect. And then step back. And then bow. There you go. We'll see you all next week, bright and early. Have a beautiful week, everybody. Bye-bye.